Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, animals, minerals and vegetables. It's me, Wizard Keen. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of building. We're going to be building the human mouth. So hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on to your hats. Let me just make sure I'm not listening to myself on here. I can see the chat. I can see what's going on. So let's get into it. Let's have a little look. I'm making a world called Tiny Dentist. Right. Oh, there we are. There we are. There's the start of my world. Anyway, I've actually created a very simple way of doing it. Let me just make sure I can hear myself. I can hear myself, which is jolly good. Okay, let's go fly up, and I'll show you what on earth I'm doing over here. So here is my teeth, some giant teeth I have made, and they're all in stone at the moment, but what we're going to be doing, and I'm going to need to create one more bit. We need to just put a little bit of molar on top. I've been digging out. Now, I've actually separated these teeth out. So there was an upper jaw and a lower jaw, and they were both kind of connected, and I didn't want them to be connected. I found this, a JPEG, or not a JPEG, an OBJ file on the internet, free to use, of a human mouth, and I turned them into voxels, and I turned that into a schematic, and I brought it in all together into, you can kind of see here. Actually, let's quit this because I'll end up in all sorts of trouble if I don't. I brought it into MCEdit and basically put it together like this. And at the moment I'm separating them out. So there's the lower jaw over there, and this is the upper jaw over here. Okay. Okay. So you can hear Django in the background. That is the top of your mouth, if you like, but on a very massive scale. Anyway, so I'll just say hello to everybody. Hello everybody who's joined. Why a mouth? I'm making a game called Tiny Dentist. And AAA's here as well. Hi, AAA Gaming. So what I need to do is I need to separate the mouth, the upper jaw, from the lower jaw, and I probably just need to do it on one side. And currently, I've got to kind of do it by hand, because look how close they are actually touching, and it was not great. So I'm just gonna do this by hand, okay, just to make sure that the upper teeth and the lower teeth don't grind together. Okay. Okay, and then when I'm ready, I'll turn these all into. What do you think is a good idea? Do you think a good material for teeth? I think quartz, personally. Quartz is kind of a sort of a giant's tooth kind of thing. So we'll probably do quartz. Hopla. Hopla. There we go. But it's a bit of a pain. Oh, it's crazy, isn't it? So I'll probably do this into pink. Pink stone or whatever. But what I want to do as well, what we're going to be doing today, is I'm going to be clearing out some of the teeth on this side. You can kind of see where I cut it off. So I've got to kind of... These ones aren't too bad, but those ones are really touching. These ones here, that one, that one, that one, that one. These ones I could probably MCEdit out. Look, they're quite easy. They're quite distant from the teeth. So I'm just going to do it on one side, then I'm going to copy and paste and mirror it over the top, because you can kind of see if we go right to the middle, they are mirror image of each other as well. So that one mirrors that one. So we should be all good. Okay. So, probably snow. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's got to be hard, because my original idea was to make Tiny Dentist. You would have like slimes. Slimes would be bacteria, and then you'd have to kill the slimes, and that's with your tiny drill. So you are literally a tiny dentist. That's looking good. This is a bit weird underneath here. Okay, that's better. Now I can see. There we go. I hope everyone's having a great day. I've been busy. I've been elsewhere doing other things, doing crazy little projects as well. I've got a new little museum project. We've just finished the Museum of London, Great Fire of London project, and I'll be doing a let's play of that map very shortly. And it's a real let's play because it's kind of basically quite a playful map. It lets you rebuild London in all sorts of strange ways. So we've actually created these blocks have been reimagined into tiny buildings. I'll have to show you later on. Maybe I'll do a live stream of it. I don't know. Just breaking all the blocks. Not the most interesting let's play. But there we go. There we go. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and answer anybody's. I am reading the chat every now and then. I have to look away from my screen and read the chat. Have you played Rise, Son of Rome? No, I don't think I have. I'll talk to you a little bit about the kind of games I'm playing at the moment too, because and like what people want to see on the channel. I'm deciding to change the channel around a bit. I've got a list in front of me. Basically, I want to do some more VR. I want to do some virtual reality stuff, and I want to know what people are interested in VR-wise. I want to kind of do some creative stuff with it. And we've got a couple of ways of doing that. We've got something called 3D Sunshine, which is kind of like VR painting, but you paint in Minecraft blocks, which is pretty cool. Another way of doing it would be just to sort of do VR in Minecraft. I've done a couple of adventure maps, and they are a bit weird, to be honest with you. Or to do kind of world tours as well, to do a kind of a tour in VR and virtual reality. Another thing I want to do is keep going with Slime Rancher. I don't know if anybody watches my Slime Rancher stuff, but I do enjoy Slime Rancher. It's one of my kind of easy games, easy go-to games. It's quite pleasurable to play as well. Okay. I'm laughing at someone's DMing me something on Twitter. Anyway, no, let's see what else. What is his username in Roblox? I don't know. I think it's Wizard Keen. Let me have a look. Dunk. Roblox. As you can see, I'm streaming the entire screen. Log in. That's not me. Wizard Keen. There we go. There I am. Wizard_Keen, ladies and gentlemen. Wizard_Keen. Cool. I am using OBS. Here it is. I'll show you. It gets a bit whoa, OBS. So OBS is allowing me to stream everything. It's great. The whole screen. The reason I want to stream the whole stream, okay, is because we're going to be using a couple of other tools. We're going to be using one tool called MCEdit. So we'll be using that very shortly, and I'll show you how MCEdit works as well. So I'm just going to chop this all up. Not too long now to wait. We should all be good. There we go. That's what I've done. 2 teeth, ladies and gentlemen, 2 teeth. As I said, I'm a tiny dentist. Okay, here we go. We're getting there. We are getting there. Now I've got a couple of plans. One of my plans was literally to kind of create a giant human being. Okay, but then I had a kind of an epiphany. Okay, I had a breakthrough, a mental breakthrough, not breakdown, breakthrough. Where I thought it could be like a giant, you know. Look at that. There we go. That looks great. Look at the roots underneath as well, which is amazing. Okay, cool. That's one tooth done. Let's go down here, and I'm going to try and take it down from this angle here, and then that way I can just MCEdit the top of it off as well. Let's just like chop it in half, like a laser beam. Okay, then everything below here I don't have to worry about. Well, everything above here I don't have to worry about. I can just nip out later on. Okay, here we go. Here we go. There we go. Okay, let's have a read of the donuts. No. What Triple A is going to say is the good thing to do if you're chatting away and stuff like that. Honestly, people are going to notice you if you ask interesting questions and you participate. Just simply asking for shout-outs never, ever, ever works. Partly because, well, can you imagine what it's like if you're kind of doing this and people say, "Can you give me a shout-out? Can you give me a shout-out?" It's like I could, but then it becomes the shout-out show, which is kind of boring. Okay. But if we have loads of people asking really interesting questions and kind of getting involved and getting kind of, you know, and finding out and participating, then it becomes the participation show, and people are interested in each other. Okay, you guys can be interested in what you guys are interested in as well. So it kind of shows you can kind of do the intelligent thing. It's kind of, you know, and be interesting, and that's kind of one of the ways of being noticed. And becoming a mod, and you know, and doing all sorts of other things as well. Okay, simply getting shout-outs is boring. So, but we understand why people ask. It's getting dark. Let's also do something here as well. Let's just go game. Oh, what am there? Oh, I can't even see the bottom of my thing. How do I get rid of this bar here? Let's shrink this down a little bit. There we go. Game mode. Not game mode. I want time set. Time set. Whoops. Set day. Thank you. And then we're just going to do game rule. Daylight saving, no, false. Now it's going to permanently be day, which is going to help me no end. So I'm going to have to fight the night as it comes slowly around the corner. Okay. So this world that we've got ourselves into is, as if you've just joined, if you just joined, it's going to be a kind of it's going to be a little creative map that I'm making called Tiny Dentist. The world is a void. Okay, and you can make this. You can make void worlds really easily now. There was an old technique that we used back in the day, but now it's part of. There's actually a preset void, which means that there's nothing in the Minecraft world. It does not spawn a darn thing. Well, I say darn thing. It spawns that little square down there. Okay, so that's quite nice, and that's what you land on when you first arrive in the world. So you can. Void worlds are good for all sorts of things. I think my son Django today, he was making a like a you know, like a sky island, which is quite cool. And you can make things like that. For us though, for map makers, they're really useful because you can kind of just create your own worlds in the middle of nothing. You're not going to interact with anything that's going to be too Minecrafty. You know, like this is fairly abstract. If you ask me, it's fairly weird, fairly abstract. So here we go. Here's tooth number 2. Really, a big molar on the back of the jaws of this giant human being. So some of the weaponry I was thinking about using, obviously we're going to be a tiny dentist, there's going to be a drill, but also there's kind of fluoride, and you might even use a big toothbrush as well to kind of get rid of stuff at the same time. I was thinking about using slimes as sort of bacteria, and if too many slimes appear in one place, then they blow up. Okay, so that's one of the kind of, they blow up and cause dental decay. So that's why, if this wasn't let's do that, I think. How's about that? Well, that's pretty cool. I can see what it's why. There might be a bit of a. I might make a little bit more of a cavity thing. Whoa! Inside the middle of a tooth. Okay, let's do this. And that way we can kind of seal it up. Right, like that. Okay, cool. Right, how's everybody else going? Just don't... Oh my goodness. That'd be outrageous. Maybe you have the teeth, maybe white concrete. I haven't actually tried the new version of Minecraft yet, so that's going to be a little thing that I'm quite excited about doing. There we go. Here we go. I'm going to do this tooth, and then I'm going to show you MCEdit and show you how I use MCEdit as well. I have sort of half done Tiny Dentist before, but I've got a new idea for it. And I lost all the files for it, so I don't know quite where it all went. But it was like a traditional mouth, you know, kind of like an upper jaw and a lower jaw. And what I want now is I want an open mouth. Well, you'll see in a minute. And I'll show you some of the weird techniques I use as well. So it's going to be quite good for those people who are kind of interested in this kind of stuff. How we use third-party tools to kind of create some of the kind of weird, especially medical imagery. Like I've done a human body before, and I used MCEdit and a little program within that too. So there's lots of really cool things you can do. How's everybody doing? Keen, can you please accept my Roblox friend request? Maybe later. If it's still there later on, I'll have a little look. I've been thinking about Roblox, but we're not too sure what to do with it. I was thinking about making my own maps in Roblox as well. That's kind of one thing I'm quite interested. I'm more of the creative type, so I like creating stuff. I like playing stuff as well. I think with Roblox I'd be really interested in kind of creating stuff. So does everybody play Roblox on PC or do you play it on tablet? Where else can you play Roblox? Xbox has got Roblox, hasn't it? So let me know in the chat or the comment section, because this will be going up, where you play Roblox and where's your most favourite space to play Roblox. Right, we're nearly done. We're nearly done. I don't know if you can hear Django next door giggling. He's playing with his friend. They're playing something called Unturned. Okie dokie. That looks pretty good. Let's go and save and quit to that. I'm going to now go into MCEdit. Yeah, on PC. Tell us when Wonder Quest Season 3 is going to start. I can't, unfortunately, because I don't know when Wonder Quest is going to start again. We have no idea. I'm going to ignore that, okay that, and open up Tiny Dentist. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is MCEdit. It looks a little bit like Minecraft, but it's a bit weirder to kind of get yourself around it. I'm actually using my WASD keys at the moment. Forward, W, S, back, A, pan left, D, pan right. And then I right click and I can kind of turn my camera almost like if it was on a tripod. So it's a bit, you have to get used to it, but once you are used to it, it's quite cool. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to kind of left click and drag a little selection box, because I want to create a little box like that. And then once you've created a selection box, you can kind of grab the edges of it and change the shape of that selection box. What I want to do is I want to delete quickly this bit up here. So let's just grab this and move it over here. Cool. And move down here. And it's all about kind of positioning yourself as well. Right, let's see how much of what I can delete without deleting the tooth. One more down, I think. Dunk. That's it. And then just press delete blocks on the left hand side, and there we go. It's taken a chunk out of there, and then I don't have to hand kind of, you know, scoop all that kind of stuff out for yourself. Okay. Right click to stop the camera from moving about, then deselect. I'm going to go back into here and out, and I can kind of I can see, like, I've got notifications on my Twitter, on my web browser, and I've just seen Stampy. Stampy's just uploaded a video. So if you want to go and watch Stampy's Zelda's Breath of the Wild, he's just uploaded it. Here's another question for everybody. Who has got the new Nintendo Switch? Has anybody? Has anybody got it? And that's because I can't afford a new Nintendo Switch just to play a game. What I did do, though, I've got a Wii U, and I bought myself the game for Wii U. Delete blocks. Deselect. There we go. Isn't that cool? So we've now done 2 bits to it, which I think is pretty excellent. Now there's another bit over here, and I'm going to just... I'm going to take this bit off like this. Now you can see that I move around quite a lot around this kind of area. Delete blocks and deselect. There we go. We can kind of see. I don't want to take this off too much because I think there's a top bit. You see, I think the tooth goes up a little bit as well. So I'm gonna save it like that. I'm gonna come in and just sort of sort that out for myself. This block, however, is mine. So I'm gonna take this off completely. Move down. So again, most of this stuff really is about positioning yourself in 3-dimensional space and making that work. And delete blocks. There we go. Okay, we've got another bit sorted out. And again, I've left a little bit on there as well, so I didn't want to over egg the pudding and delete bits of the teeth that I wanted to. I definitely wanted not to delete. So that's pretty good. Okay, that's pretty good as well. I wonder how far I can take this. That looks excellent. Okay, we'll delete those blocks too. Okay, cool. And I only need to do half of it, remember? So, deselect that. Let's take this off now. So just getting ourselves in position. I'll tell you what else I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to change one material into another material. Okay, so I'm gonna now select the whole section of my teeth, which is this. I've gone into the mouth a little bit, so I'm going to just grab that. You see how when I go over each of these planes on this cuboid thing, like there's the top and it has a yellow outline, and that means I can move up and down. If I go down the bottom, I can move it left and right, you know. So that's how you kind of select these areas. I'm going to go down the bottom now, select it all down to the bottom, including the roots. And I'm going to go down to the bottom, and it says down here, it says fill and replace. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to say, right, find stone, okay? Replace stone with, and you can kind of go through it, or you can kind of just go in the search. So I'm going to go quartz. Block of quartz, okay. And I'm going to replace. Okay, so now it's going to replace pretty much everything. And it should be doing that. I'm just checking out the the chat. I have an Xbox One, if that helps. I have that as well. I would get to play Zelda, but that's the only reason. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I've. Oh well done. If you've got a Switch. Also, the trouble with Switches, what I'm thinking is like. Oh, bone. Oh, let's try bone. You're spot on, Mr. Crafty. You're spot on. Let's try bone. Okay. Quartz. Block of quartz. I forgot about bone completely. Bone. Bone. Okay. Bone. Upright. Replace. Fingers crossed. Let's have a look. See what it does. Oh, it looks weird. but it's going to be good. I wonder if we can get a texture that completely covers it all the way around. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's save it, and let's pop back into Minecraft and see what it looks like. I'll get rid of Stampy's thing down there. Menu and quit. Okay, here we go. Oops. Right, Tiny Dentist. Here we go. It does look a bit yellowy, doesn't it? And it's kind of cool. I kind of like it. Right. I kind of want it to be... I don't want that. It's like the marrow of a bone. I don't know about bone. I don't know. Has anybody actually found bone in Minecraft? I don't know. I don't know why they added it. It's a bit weird. I might go back to quartz. It's a bit. I mean, it is organic, but it might be too. Look at it from here. I'll see. I'll have a think. You let me know in the comment section. I'll take your advice. Chop, 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 chop. So, what we're going to do in this episode is and I'm going to be doing sort of live streams and also kind of a building, like build with Keen, and doing a little build series like this, so you can kind of see how I build stuff. And if there are any more or new or interesting kind of builds, kind of bits of software or kind of techniques that we can use to help us sellers build, then I'll be showcasing them in this series. So there we go. That looks pretty good. Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's very yellowy. This bone. There we go. Perfect. And then we just got to get rid of this bit. Look at those two front teeth there. Okay. Looks good at a distance, but it's kind of got a stripe in there as well, which I don't quite like. Keen of about 3 years of watching you stamping Squid Squishy. I think I've mastered the British accent. British accent. That's cool. The British accent is a bit of a strange one, isn't it? Especially like the thing that I like about YouTube is that YouTube, like normally on British TV, you would never get someone like Stampy or someone like Squid being on TV because they don't sound. No one would have given them a chance. But on YouTube, it kind of democratizes what people like, and people are like, yeah, they sound great. It was like, it allowed. You see, it's a bit weird. Yeah, they were allowed to be themselves, and we were allowed to hear what their voices sounded like, and it was okay. It was good. So that's that bit there. I think that looks pretty sweet. I might change it back to the thing. I'm going to save and quit now and go back into MCEdit. So if you want to use bone, I could probably make a texture without that weird top. Do it. I think we need, there are very few. Well, if you have like the BBC, then you don't get any commercials at all. But it's funny, the other day I was trying to watch TV and there was nothing to watch at all for a long time. I was really struggling. Okay, now there's a bit of a strange thing going on here, but I'm going to start from this point. I'm going to start from, where am I going? Let's start from there. Oh, see, that was pink there for a second. We're going to go to about here. And we're going to take... Actually, we're going to delete the left-hand side first of all. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to go jump like this. And take the top up like this. And go right down to the bottom. That's pretty cool. And then just delete this section that I don't want. So I think that's going to be about there. Delete blocks. Fingers crossed, everybody. Fingers crossed. Look, AAA, if you want to do, if you want to give it a go, I'm happy. You know, if it's interesting to you, if you wanna create a texture pack for this, that'd be great. I mean, but it could be anything, couldn't we? It could be, we could change. I'm going to try quartz, okay, and we'll see what it's like. I like the idea of bone, but what does bone do? Can you smelt it? What can you do with bone? What does it, what does it turn? I suppose is a bone block made of like combining bone meal together? I don't know. Someone's gonna have to find out for me. Let's delete those blocks as well. Okay, there we go. Well done, computer. Right, now I'm going to switch this all the way around the other side like this. Okay. Have we got anything left? There is something left over here. Look at that. The last bit left. We're going to just take this all the way over there. And I think we can now clone it. Okay. So I'm going to clone it like this. Press clone. And we're going to mirror it. Like this, okay. Which didn't mirror the way I wanted to do it. Rotate. There we go, perfect. And now I'm going to just adjust it along here like this. And put it into position. It needs to be one couple back. Let's just take a look at the front bit. Okay, this is where it's going to match up. Okay, cool. Stop that from moving around. Now I'll take it 2 away, which I quite like, and then I can put something in between, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to clone. Ready, steady, go. Clone. Bone block wiki. Thanks, Curious Bunny. Let's have a little peekaboo on here. Obtaining. It says you can bone blocks can be mined using any pickaxe. If mined without a pickaxe, they will drop nothing. You can craft it with some bone meal. Bone blocks are generated naturally as part of fossil structures and found in desert and swampland biomes. I think there's a story there. I've never found any, but I suppose we could go. I could do something. Let's turn this back. Let's fill and replace. We're going to look for bone. Bone, any subtype. Okay, and we're going to replace it with quartz. Okay, block of quartz. And press OK and replace like that. So anyway, yeah, next week we're going to be starting with virtual reality, something VR on Mondays, followed swiftly on Tuesdays with some Slime Rancher, and Wednesdays with Lego Worlds, and then Thursdays it's going to be something like this. It's going to be called Build with Keen. Then on Fridays we've got Fallout Shelter, and then Saturday and Sunday it's going to be Wizard's Realm on a Saturday, and then Sunday it's Keen and Jeremy's Grand Adventure, which is a kind of PlayStation 4 adventure with me and Jeremy. Is that all working okay? Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's save that. I wonder if I can get some gums sorted out. Let's have a look. Why is it black? Yeah, so the reason it's black is because if it hasn't saved, it hasn't actually worked out the lighting underneath. So once you save it, it sorts out the lighting, and that's why it turns into a nice proper colour. So I'm going to just deselect this now. Now these are the bottom jaws, so I probably need these ones over here being turned into jaws, you know, the bottom part of the jaws. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to need to turn these into pink flesh in Minecraft, obviously. So let's just select it all, and then we'll figure out what kind of material would be appropriate for gums. I've also got a tongue as well. I'm going to bring a tongue in as well at some point or other, but not today. That might be next week. These are the gums. I think I've selected it all. Oh no, look, 2 bits behind there. Okay, so we're gonna change it from stone into what? Now is the time to tell me your suggestions. Stone. Okay. Replace with what? Clay. There's pink stained clay. There's white stained clay, which isn't actually white. It's a kind of pink, isn't it? What do you think? Pink, which is kind of red. Light, which is kind of brown, which will be disgusting. I think it's magenta, which is a bit weird. I think magenta will be the tongue. That looks like a kind of tongue colour. I think this one for the gums. Although gums, if you look at your gums, they're kind of more pinky, aren't they? But I don't think we have that. Maybe for the new then have pink glass on the top. Or pink wool. That is true. Ben, well done. Well done. I'm going to try this. We'll see what this ends up looking like. That looks alright. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it. Dunk, like this. It's going to scoop it out of the world. It's going to save it up here. Now I can actually save that as a schematic, okay, and it will save it for later, so for another rainy day where I want to use a pair of gums in one of my builds, which is sometimes a really, really good idea. And you can kind of create a library of different things. So say you've actually created a really cool house, you can copy it in here and then save it, and then you can use that house in another building a little bit later on. So this is the these are the gums. They've disappeared up there. They've appeared up here. I can click here and I can bring them in here. So we're going to just put them down here. Now I'm going to move up in around this area here because I need to see what I'm doing. So now I can nudge them. If I left click here, I can move these with my WASD keys. Okay, so I'm pressing D at the moment to make them go right, and then we're going to press Shift to make them go down. And we're going to have to put them in the right position, which sounds easy, but it isn't really. Okay, here we go. Let's just nudge it across here. Nudge, nudge. Up, 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 up. Forward. How does that look? That was pretty good. Look, they're all snugly inside of their little gummy. Oh, look, unfortunately that's sticking out the back there. I think we need to maybe go back a little. But how does that work at the front? That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I just don't want any tooth poking out. Do you know what I mean? I might have to move this up a bit more, I think. Let's just move it up a bit more like that. That looks alright. Let's go underneath here. You can kind of see where the actual teeth are sticking through the gum line as well, which is really cool. This is, you know, if you want to be a dentist, you're learning a load of stuff right now. Right here and now. So that all works out quite well. I think I'm happy. So I'm going to press import. Did I do it right? Did I do it right? Did I do it right? Because sometimes you can copy air and you don't want to copy air. You see there's some black bits there. I'm going to just press save. It's going to save this project, and then we're going to get back in there. You know, I've always wanted to try black tea, but I don't know how to make it. The only thing I know how to make is coffee. Black tea is simple. Tea bag, hot water, dip, 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 squeeze it. Don't burn yourself, and you're done. Let's quit this program, go into single player Minecraft, and here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the lower jaw. So, wow. It's still a bit yellow, isn't it? The quartz. But anyway, here we are. In the teeth. Human teeth, ladies and gentlemen. Giant Human teeth. What's over there? What's that? Looks like. Oh, something. Look at this bit. This enemy, frenemy. It's got. Yeah, that didn't quite. Get rid of that. This is like a filling that went wrong. So, we'll get rid of the filling, which is an old tooth. But I like it so far. Doesn't it look amazing? And then we'll get a tongue in there with the right kind of stuff. But yeah. So, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a little bit how we can use MCEdit. And what I'll do is I'll also show you how to take objects in. Actually, I'm going to show you straight away. I'm going to just show you because you might want to do it anyway. If you like MCEdit, you're going to love this. Okay, I'm going to show you something really cool right at the end of this, so we can actually teach you something. It's going to be excellent. Let's get all the way down the bottom. I'm just going to get rid of these things. It's just going to annoy me if I don't get rid of that. Get rid of that. There we go. Put that in there. There we go. Also, with the bottom part of the mouth as well, like this, I'm probably going to turn it. I'm going to twist it. I'm not sure how to do that yet, but we'll figure it out as we go along. There are some MCEdit things, but they don't work exceptionally well. So there we go. I quite like that. Part of our lower jaw, and I'll get the tongue in later. So let's do something right now. Let's do something that's quite fun. Save and quit that. Let's go here and let's go to Tinkercad. Spell it right. Tinkercad. Has anybody used Tinkercad before? Yeah. Nope. I'm going to sign in. Yeah, I'm not going to be going for too much longer. How long have I been going? 42 minutes. Imagine that. Imagine that. 42 minutes. So come on, little sausage. Maybe Autodesk doesn't like the fact that I'm streaming. Let's try that again. And might be my dinner as well. Sign in with Google. Yeah, let's do that. All things you can sign in with. So you need some sort of account. But this is a free service, and it's a pretty good service actually, and you can kind of do some really cool things. So as you see, I have started tinkering around with teeth up here. I'm going to create a new design up here. I'm just going to show you how super easy it is to create things in Minecraft. So I'm going to go with a sphere. I'm going to make it big like this. Okay, it's cool. I'm going to get a pyramid. I'm going to stretch my pyramid. You can kind of see that it's fairly easy. I'm just grabbing these little edges here to kind of move it about. To move it up and down, I can kind of move it up, down like that. So I'm grabbing that kind of triangle, black triangle at the edge. Around the edge as well, we've got these angle things. I can kind of move it in a different angles and stuff. I'm also going to grab some text, and I'm going to lift my text up here like this and move it across into this section here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger like this, and move it down a touch like that, so it looks like that. Okay, moving my triangle over here. Now with the text, I'm going to select the text and I'm going to turn it into a hole, and then I'm going to press Shift and I'm going to click my circle down here at the same time, and then I'm going to group them together by pressing this button over here, dink, like this. And then, as if by magic, the text has become literally a hole, which is awesome. Another really, really cool thing is you've got up here, you've got kind of a voxelizer. So I'm going to click the voxelizer, and we've got different block sizes: small, medium, and intense. And there we have that kind of. These are now voxels. Now we can actually export that directly to Minecraft itself. At the moment we're using sponge and ice, so we can kind of go, what about lapis, or what about bricks? And with sponge, why don't we have, like, instead of sponge, what about a block of gold? So I'm going to go for netherrack like this, okay? So we can actually change the shape and style of things. And there's a little Minecraft tree just on the left-hand side, so you can kind of see how that works. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to export it, okay? And it exports as a schematic, okay? And a schematic is the thing that MCEdit loves, okay? So we're going to go back into MCEdit. I'm going to import this and show you exactly what I've just done. Ignore. We're going to open up Tiny Dentist and I'll put it somewhere safe. Let's put it over here. Okay. So let's do import there. And it's probably in my downloads. It's probably this one here and open. There it is. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, just made. Super simple. Import. Now imagine if you were like spent a little bit more time creating something wonderful. You can kind of do that within this program as well. And we'll just save that. And I'm going to nip into Minecraft right at the end, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. It's cool, isn't it? Okay, now let's quit this. Pop into single player. So I'll be doing a much more. So that's what I'm going to be doing in Keen builds. Okay, build with Keen. You're going to go and see me using some of these tools that I use all the time, and we're going to be creating stuff together, like kind of cathedrals and kind of architecture and giant teeth. But there we go. This is pretty cool, isn't it? And you can create all sorts of crazy little maps and stuff like that. They're quite good fun, and also you're getting some really interesting skills at the same time. Look at this stuff. So good, so good. Netherrack. Okay, so we can create stupendous, marvelous things with this stuff at the same time. And I'll show you some of the really cool filters that you can kind of use with MCEdit as well. There's some really neat stuff out there. You can kind of create mathematical shapes as well. Anyway, I've just about finished for the day in terms of doing the live stream. I'll be setting up again next week with some new videos coming out daily, but I've been, as I said before, I've been away for a little bit, so the videos on the channel have come to a kind of a grinding halt. But don't worry, they are coming back. Until next time, thanks very much for watching. Thank you, Jennifer, AAA, and Curious as well for kind of joining in and helping with the moderation on the chat. Everybody who's turned up on the chat, I also want to just thank you very much. You've been absolutely amazing, and you've asked some really interesting questions. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, all I've got to say is thank you and goodbye. Ta-ra now, bye.